what you have the opportunity to do as a homeschool parent is light a fire. Find out what makes your kids tick. Find out about who they are before a holy, mighty God. Talk to them about their hopes and dreams and go for it. Fan that flame.
Hey everyone, this is Yvette Hampton. Welcome back to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast. I am back with Rachael Carman and happy Christmas. Well, happy Christmas. Happy celebrating the birth of Christ.
That's right.
Which was yesterday, if you're listening to this by chance, on the 26th, which also happens to be my daughter's 19th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Today, if you're listening on the 26th. I know. Can you believe that? It's so
No, I cannot believe
crazy.
that.
She was our Christmas miracle. This is our baby who, we tried for more than 10 years to get pregnant. And she was born just a few weeks before our 11th anniversary. And she missed Christmas by 5 hours. I was so sad. I wanted her to be born on Christmas Day because she was going to have a Christmas birthday anyway. And so I thought, well, you may as well just share your birthday with Jesus. But she came a little bit later. So Jesus gets to have that day all to himself.
Funny thing, it's actually my dad's birthday too.
Oh, fun. That's awesome.
Interesting?
It's a good day.
It's a great day. Yeah.
It is a good day. We have to be very intentional about separating. You talked, Rachael, about celebrating birthdays and Christmas and Easter and anniversaries. But so we have to be very intentional about separating the two and not rolling her birthday into Christmas and making it a celebration of her as an individual and not just like, here's your Christmas/birthday present. So people always say to her, they're like, oh, we feel so sorry for you that your birthday is, at Christmas time. And I'm like, don't feel sorry for her. She's fine.
She's got it made.
We still celebrate her. Yeah. Her first birthday party. This was so fun. I was adamant about not having a Christmas birthday party for her the first year. And so we did a big birthday party. It was a winter wonderland. And everything was white. Everything. The food was white.
Wow.
The decorations were white. Everything was white. I think we had a little bit of blue in there too, like, baby blue. But it was a really fun celebration. We did it at the beginning of December. So
that sounds great.
To celebrate her. I know she's such a joy and a gift from the Lord. So that was a great Christmas.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Best one ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to get back into our conversation, but first I want to say thank you to our sponsor, BJU Press Homeschool. If you're looking for great biblical worldview curriculum, check them out at bjupresshomeschool.com. And if you're not sure what you need for your kiddos, if you're in this weird place, it's not a weird place. It's a place that I would say the majority of homeschool families find themselves in. You get halfway through the year and you're like, this curriculum that we're using is not working out so well for us. You can switch. It's okay. You can switch halfway through the year. You do not have to stick with the same curriculum you've done for the first semester or for the past 5 years. Do what works best for you and for your kids. And so if you don't know and you're looking at BJU, call them up, talk to their consultants, and they can help walk you through it. bjupresshomeschool.com. If you're looking for something that Apologia might have, you've got science, you've got writing, you've got Bible curriculum. What else do you have, Rachael?
Yeah, we've got an academy for junior high and high school, and then we've got math for elementary and science for K through 12, and then the Bible curriculum. So yeah.
I love it. I love your science curriculum. That's my favorite of all of yours. We've probably used that more than
what's not to like
any other, and it's so fun, so well written and easy. It is amazing. So if you're looking for curriculum, look at bjupresshomeschool.com or go to apologia.com. And check out what they have. They've got something for your families. So thank you again for sponsoring us, Rachael. We are so grateful for you. You'll hear their commercial in the middle. Don't fast forward through the commercials, you guys. You need to hear what we're talking to you about. It's good stuff. They talk about their homeschool boot camp, which Apologia does, and it's to help homeschool families, and it's free, right?
Yeah, it is. And you know what's great? We've gotten some feedback from some people who actually give the link to their parents who think that they maybe shouldn't homeschool, and their parents are able to listen, and it's made for some really good conversations. So it's got multiple uses. Maybe a pastor might have some questions about what you do, or in-laws or your own parents or friends that don't understand. And sometimes they can't hear it from you, right? But they can hear it from somebody else. And so I think it can be used in a variety of ways.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's one of my favorite things about the movie Schoolhouse Rocked, which Rachael is in. is that when we made the movie, one of the reasons we made that movie was because we wanted to give people a resource who were homeschooling and whose parents maybe didn't understand why they were homeschooling. Because, there's a whole generation of parents who are like, well, you don't have a teaching degree. You don't know how to teach. How are you going to teach my grandkids? And genuinely, they really care about their grandkids and they want what's best for them. But they've been, persuaded by society that mom is not capable of teaching her children at home. Yep. And so the movie answers all of those questions and debunks all of the misconceptions that people have. And we don't make it look like it's easy all the time, because it's not. Nobody ever claims that homeschooling is the easiest thing ever. We're very real about that in the movie, but we also answer all those questions. And so if you've not seen the movie, you can watch it for free.
Yeah. Pop some popcorn.
It costs you $0.
It's great. Yeah.
Pop some popcorn, put some M&Ms or hot tamales in the popcorn, because that's the best way. Have you tried that before, Rachel?
I have not. I love popcorn, but I have not done the hot tamale thing. Oh, I need to check that out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, it's so I don't know. I switch between hot tamales and M&Ms. If you don't like red food dye, don't do the hot tamales and take the red ones out of the M&Ms, I guess, whatever. But they're delicious. They both have a different taste and they're so good. It's the only way I like to eat popcorn.
I bet. When I'm done here, I'm going to go downstairs and make homemade caramel corn with peanuts.
Oh, yum.
It's good stuff, man. It's the kind of stuff that you remember Lay's potato chips. Oh, yeah, I'm really digressing here. Had that commercial all those years ago. No one can eat just one, right? That's how this popcorn is. I mean, you should not stop. You can't start, because if there's a whole bowl, it's like gone. So,
yes. Yeah. My mother-in-law makes homemade caramel corn and it's amazing. And it's the same way. Yeah, it's dangerous because you just can't stop eating it. It's so good.
You have to give it to other people.
Yes, true. It makes for a great gift. So if anyone wants to gift my family and I some caramel corn, then we'll be glad to take it off your hands. We don't want you to be tempted by it. So we'll save you from that.
We'll work together.
We're here to help.
I really appreciate that.
So we were talking about, as homeschoolers, we sometimes get to this part of the year, we're kind of ending that first semester, moving into the second semester of school. If you go by semesters, I know lots of families just homeschool year round. I've tried that in the past, but it never works for us because all my friends' kids are, off for the summer. So, but we get to this part of the year and oftentimes we're just like exhausted. We're overwhelmed. We feel like things maybe just aren't working. And maybe it's time to kind of recalibrate and look at what we're doing and see if it's really working. And I'm certain, Rachel, that in your many years of homeschooling, you did that with your family. Talk to the homeschool mom who's listening right now, who's just like, I am tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm bored maybe. My kids are bored, or maybe my kids are just not getting it, whatever it is that we're studying, they're just struggling with it. How can we refresh our homeschool moving into this new year?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a very common issue that I think we all think we're the only ones that have ever suffered from that. We're the only ones that are not excited about the spring semester, right? Because we're supposed to be so excited about what we're doing in January, and we're just not.
Yeah.
No, I did have to do that several times, and I think it's all about giving ourselves permission to do that. There's a freedom that comes with homeschooling that I don't think we exercise as often as we should. We get stuck in this, if we don't finish the book, if we don't keep up with whoever, right, we're going to get behind. And our greatest fear is being behind. And the reality is, I taught in the public school system before I started teaching my kids at home, which don't think for a moment was an advantage. Story for another day. But I just want to tell you a secret. We never finished the book. So the whole idea that we think, we've got to fight, we got to just keep grinding. That's really not where it is at. And so I think it's all about backing up and remembering why you're doing this anyway. And I would suggest, and the late great Chris Davis, who owned a company called the Elijah Company. And I don't know if I should look that up. He was just
I've
really,
not heard of that.
yeah, he was really remarkable. He was actually the first conference workshop that I ever went to that I did not want to be at. He was the speaker. It was God ordained.
Okay.
And he talked about this fundamental concept that you've heard in other places. Are you lighting a fire or filling a bucket? He said that's basically your choice. The public school system is really good at filling buckets, and they assume all the buckets are the same and all the buckets need the same. And it's just, think of industrialization. Think of just going through the line. They're getting the same thing. He said, what you have the opportunity to do as a homeschool parent is light a fire. Find out what makes your kids tick. Find out about who they are before a holy, mighty God. Talk to them about their hopes and dreams and go for it. Fan that flame, which means that it's all going to be different, right? It's not, your kids are going to all be different.
Right.
So if you're sort of in the doldrums of January and February, and by the way, I happen to know a secret, and that is that February, though it looks like it's the shortest month on the calendar, is actually the longest. And if you can just get through February, March is coming. It can be January and February can be tough. I mean, you're coming off the holidays, right? May seems really far away, and it's cold and it's dreary outside. Just not my favorite time of year, and it can just be really, really difficult. And so, giving yourself the space to step back, and maybe you just turn course. Maybe you, instead of going right back into what you went into, what if you just pick up a new read aloud chapter book and you just do that? And maybe do another slow start back in, not just slam back into everything all at once, but get a really good, solid book. Talk to some of your friends, talk to older homeschoolers. That's what we're here for. Find somebody who's been there, done that, and say, what is a book that all of your kids really loved? And circle the wagons and just start by just taking the whole first week, quote, back, just reading that book together, right? And just enjoying being together. And then maybe the next week you build in math, and maybe the next week then you add in science. But instead of just slamming all back into it, just start with a really great book. Maybe you even decide, let's start a new recipe this week. But really give yourself permission to change it up and switch it up and breathe. Maybe it means you don't even start maybe until January 15th. You can do that, right? What we always did when we came back from Christmas, the first thing that we started back doing was writing thank you notes for all of the Christmas presents. I'm all about teaching kids how to write thank you notes because it's handwriting. It's letter writing. They had to be a minimum of 3 sentences. It's spelling, it's grammar, it's gratitude.
Knowing how to write an address on an envelope.
Exactly. It's all these things. Yeah, I had a daughter who was in college and she dated a guy who she did not date for long, who did not know how to address an envelope. I mean, that's becoming a thing now in the digital age. But our children should know how to do that. And then every thank you note had to include a verse of scripture. So it just, you're hitting on all cylinders. But that's what we would do the first week back, is we focused on looking back at what they got for Christmas. I mean, it's really easy just to forget, right? But I would always keep the list of everything everybody got. And they all knew that that's what we were going to do. And often they got, miraculously, new stationery, right? And maybe a new fat pencil or a new marker set that they all wanted to use. And they could all, look at their presents and remember their presents and write their thank you notes. So, I mean, I think it's at the end of the day, it's all about giving yourself permission to change it up and breathe and just know, like you said a minute ago, you don't have to do it keep doing the same thing if it's not working.
Have you tried CTC Math yet with your child? Here's a testimonial from another happy homeschool mom. Amber said, I'm absolutely thrilled with CTC Math. It's a rare find that I've used with my children for more than 5 years now. I have 6 children using CTC Math, and each child has found it easy to navigate and very applicable. Thank you so much for all that you are doing in providing quality math lessons for my children. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com. That's ctcmath.com. Join Apologia for the Homeschool Bootcamp, a free video series that provides practical guidance and wisdom from experienced homeschool parents. You'll discover how to equip your family for academic, social, and spiritual success. Plus, you'll discover how to build deeper and stronger family relationships. Homeschool Bootcamp covers how to break free from the public school mindset, daily planning, supporting students with learning challenges, homeschooling as a working parent, navigating the high school years, and much more. Find this incredible free homeschool resource at apologia.com/bootcamp. We are back with Rachael. We have just a few minutes left, and this is literally the last few minutes of the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast for the year 2024, Rachael. So no pressure.
Wow.
Okay. It's just that I'm handing you the last few minutes of the entire 2024 year of the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast as we've known it for 7 seasons now. So in these last few minutes, if you could leave any encouragement for our audience as we're closing out the year, moving into a new year, maybe moving into some new seasons of life, what encouragement would you like to give to our audience?
Yeah, no pressure indeed. I probably don't have anything original. I would just say what we've been talking about all along is dare to lean into God, dare to pause, dare to downshift, dare to be present, dare to engage. I think that's the new phrase I'm trying to develop and trying to multiply with other people. I don't want to be busy. I want to be engaged. Which to me is different. If you're engaged, you're present. You're looking at people in the eye. You're not rushing out the door. You're seeing people. You're hearing people. And I think just practicing those habits and walking in grace for yourself. You cannot give what you do not have. And so if you're not accepting the grace of God yourself, if you're not acknowledging all that he's given you, you know what? You can't be kind and gracious to other people. You just can't. And so, and that's really an interesting thing. If you can remember that when someone's really rude to you, it's kind of like, oh, I'm sorry. You don't get how much God loves you. People are only rude because they don't get what they've been given. And so when we're rude or rushed, that's what we're reflecting, is that we don't get what we've been given. And so I really do think if in 2025, we could give ourselves collectively, each other too, like, don't assume that I'm busy, and I won't assume you're busy, and let's not celebrate being busy. Let's encourage each other to be engaged. Let's encourage each other to breathe. Let's encourage each other to downshift. Let's encourage each other to be present. Let's call each other. Let's smile at each other. Let's smile at strangers, for heaven's sake. And let's point them by our attitude to something higher and better and beyond.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I love that reminder of just smiling at strangers. It is one of the most interesting things when you're out in public and you just walk by somebody who just probably not even intentionally has, a snarky look on their face, or they just look mad or mean or whatever. But you smile at them and they almost always will smile back. And there's just something about seeing someone else's face light up, and all it takes is a smile. You don't have to stop and talk to them. Maybe you should stop and talk to them.
All it takes.
But you don't have to do that. Sometimes it's just a smile. You need to make eye contact with someone and smile at them.
It's so true. And there's so many people that are hurting and lonely.
Yes, including our children. We need to smile at them. We need to be intentional about them knowing that we love them, we enjoy them. Smile at your kids, not just when they do something right, and your husband.
Smile at your man.
Smile at your family. Let's go smile.
Smile at your man.
That should be our thing for 2025.
Yeah, it's a huge game changer, because the joy of the Lord is your strength, and it comes out right here. And when you can dare, and today, I checked out somewhere, and this woman just looked exhausted. I mean, she looked like she'd been hit by a train. And I just looked at her and I said, "How are you today?" I mean, I could tell how she was today. I didn't need her to tell me. And she said, "I'm just really tired." And I said, "I'm so sorry." And she said, "Thank you." There's something to be just being seen. And I think we do. I think we can literally make a difference in people's lives. when we
Yes.
downshift and we engage. I really believe we can make a difference.
Yeah. This is a bit of a rabbit trail, but it's on this point. Years ago, I read a book called Under the Overpass. I don't know if you've ever heard of that book, and I cannot remember the name of the author. Oh,
Okay.
It's so good. It was about this man who intentionally lived as a homeless person. It sounds crazy, but he intentionally lived a homeless life for a year with a friend of his. He was a Christian, and he really wanted to understand the homeless lifestyle and why people are homeless and how they live. It's a fascinating book. Anyway, the thing at the end of the book, what he said was, if there's anything that you do when you come across a homeless person, he said, don't give them money, because they're usually going to spend it on drugs or alcohol. You can give them food, gift cards, things like that. But he said, but look them in the eye and smile at them. He said, homeless people are not seen. People always look away from them. And for this man who wasn't actually homeless, I mean, he actually had a means of money and stuff, but he didn't, use money while he was living homeless. But he said that was the hardest part about being homeless for him, was that people would look through him and past him and away from him. And they didn't look at him and smile. And so I make it a point. I try my best when I see people, who are homeless or on the streets, to look at them and smile at them and say hello. And I mean, we've even before just stopped, if the Lord prompts me to, and just say, what's your name? How can we pray for you? Things like that. And that shows a lot to your kids as well. So anyway, we will end on that note. Rachael, thank you again so much for being with us. Thank you for closing out the year with me.
Thanks for having me.
It has been such a pleasure and an honor. It is always a joy to have you on.
It is. It's always a blessing. I'm always glad that I did this. It's great.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you again in the new year, dear.
Yeah. Yep. Us too. And thank you guys for being with us. Have a great new year. We will be back. We're going to do a best of episode next week. And then the week after, we are kicking off 2025 with Abby Ranella, who you guys know as Abanella. We are super excited. She's going to kick off the new year for us. And then I will follow her after that at the end of January. And so we're super excited. I can't wait to hear her episode. And thank you again for being with us. If you guys would like to support the Schoolhouse Rocked ministry, you can do so by going to our website, schoolhouserocked.com, and you can give monthly. You can give a one-time donation. That is always such a blessing to us. We are so grateful for you guys. We're here to serve you. If there's any way that we can pray for you, or guests you would like to hear from, topics you would like us to talk about, send us an email at podcast@schoolhouserocked.com. We love you guys. Have a great rest of your week. And I will see you back here in January. I'll see you then. Bye.
We've got an urgent situation. If we knew we were in a war zone, which we are because we live in the middle of a spiritual battle, we would not say, well, let's take a few days off while the battle's going on. We're called the spiritual battle. Let's step up and take responsibility for that.
Even if we're able to push the evildoers and the totalitarians back for another generation, if they've got the young people, it's over.
I often think about Daniel's parents, who you don't hear anything about. But they must have laid down the foundation for Daniel to be able to go into Babylon and not fall.
This is Garrett Hampton, host of The Thinking Dad. Join us for the first season at thinkingdad.net.
When the angel Gabriel appeared to her about having this baby boy named Jesus,
I can only imagine what I would think. And again, like you said, she was young and she was poor and she wasn't married. So I even thought, my mind would be blown. And I think it's really interesting because she asked a question. When the angel told her, like, this is what's going to happen, this is what kind of blows my mind is, she said, how is this to happen? Right? Like, how? And that's what kind of captures me, is we're always thinking like, well, we can't question God. But you know what's interesting is she didn't question God. She said she believed and trusted. She was just like, how is it going to happen, God?